away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here at BearcatJournal.com. We won't get too heavy into the Galactic Fried Chicken stuff because they're closed until the new year hits. So, just be aware, be alert that you should, when they come back at the start of the year, you should go get your Galactic Fried Chicken fix filled. They will be back. I'll be back, I think, on the 4th of January. All right, Aaron. So it's Christmas. We're close. And Thursday is usually 3 Keys Thursday. So we decided tonight we were going to do 3 keys. And then tomorrow night, we're also going to do 3 keys. We've made an executive decision. We will not be broadcasting on this channel Saturday and Sunday. So everybody take the weekend off. Spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with your families. We'll be back on Monday. I don't know what next week looks like for me. Kelly gets her chemo on Tuesday. She gets her transplant on Wednesday. We might have to find somebody to sit in those 2 days, or I don't know what that's going to look like. So next week's going to be a little bit wonky too. But once we get to the new year, everything will be
back to schedule,
business as usual. Which stinks because I just got this awesome setup behind me. I got the Bearcat Journal sign.
Maybe you get some new shit for Christmas, and
maybe I get some new shit for Christmas. Like, I finally feel like after a year, I'm not just broadcasting in front of a blank wall. But whatever. So we decided we're going to go football tonight, right?
Yes.
3 keys. This was your brainchild. Christmas wish list, right? Like, that's what we're doing. What do you want from Santa Claus on Sunday if you're a UC football fan? Is that the angle we're taking?
Yes.
Okay. I'm told by the people in the chat yesterday that I talk too much and I cut you off and I don't let you talk.
You get used to it. Maybe that's on my wish list.
I don't need to. I don't need to do that. I just talk a lot. I'm sorry. My number one Christmas wish, Aaron, is to let you talk more in 2023.
Well, on my 3 football requests from Santa, my number one is I want an offensive line and an offensive line coach that are both capable of establishing a running game that was sorely missed this year. We were spoiled by Jerome Ford. We were spoiled by Jared Dokes. We were spoiled by Michael Warren. We've been spoiled for a long time.
So maybe what you want is an NFL running back.
Sure. I would not be upset at all should that be the case. But that said, we did see Chuck enter he's going to be entering his name into the
cross one off the list.
NFL running back ring.
Kudos to him. You talk about a guy that fought through adversity and fought through more shit than anybody should ever have to fight through.
Donated two knees to the program.
And came back and had a really, really good final year in red and black.
Definitely.
Great guy. I'm going to miss Chuck.
Definitely, you're happy for a guy like that to have his send-off season like that, as opposed to what it was for several years.
Yeah. He went through hell, and he persevered, and he made his mark on this program, left his mark on this program in his final year. So
I think he topped out at like 170 or so yards in one game. So well done, Chuck. Well done. But yeah, I want to get back to the good old days. And that's not a knock on Chuck, but just there were plenty of games this season where the running game was not really anywhere to be found. And I don't know if that was just the way that the game developed or the way that coach decided it needed to go. I mean, I think there were a couple different places you could point fingers if you were one of those who wanted to do something like that. But unfortunately, it's just the way it unfolded. And I hope that we're able to find under the Christmas tree an offensive line and an offensive line coach that can establish the run game. Number 2, I want an offense that can score more than 30 a game. There were plenty of games this season where that
They
was
should
not
have
the case.
scored 35, 37,
At
38.
least. At least. And going into the Big 12 against teams that really don't give a shit about defense, but largely focus on offense, that shouldn't be an issue if you have an offense that can do some things.
I think the defense in the Big 12 over the past 3 years has gotten better.
It's improved.
It's still an offensive-based league.
Yes.
But it's not like 59 to 57 like it was for a long time.
But I would like.
But you should be able to score 30.
If you are not able to score 30, you will not be able to keep up with teams in this league, regardless of what your defense is doing.
Correct.
So that has to be under the tree. That's one of those like nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I went to 3 different Santas asking him. One smelled like cigarettes and booze, but I was asking all of the Santas for the same thing. And my number
on my lap. It's weird.
My number. Wondered why your beard was so short. My number 3. My number 3. I'm hoping this is like one of those. I asked for several gifts, and because it was all part of the same. But receivers
like a combo pack, like a buy one get one type thing.
If you get a console, you need to have a game, right? So
if you get a console, you got to have a controller.
Something, a second controller for your friends and what have you. But receivers and a kicker. This program is going to be in dire straits if they are not able to land some receivers and a kicker here real soon. So that was me trying to go not for the low-hanging fruit of some of the easier things that I could ask for that'll probably be in place by, January 3rd. So
yeah. All right. Here we go. Find the leader. There are 5 quarterbacks right now in that quarterback room.
My goodness.
Who
saw that coming?
There's Emory Jones. There's Ben Bryant. There's Evan Prater. There's Brady Lichtenberg. There's Brady Drogosh. I think we all believed Brady Drogosh is set up to be the long-term vision. But the short-term is going to involve one of those other 4 guys, and it's going to be imperative to figure out which one comes in here in spring ball if all 4 make it to that point. And Brady Drogosh will be here for spring ball. He's enrolling early. If they all 5 make it to spring ball, who sets the tone? Who becomes the leader of the offense, the leader of the team? It's wild to think, like, Aaron, we thought the quarterback room was going to be in shambles.
Yes.
And now there's 5 guys, and they're not selling burgers and fries. There's 5 guys in the quarterback room. Terrible dad joke. I'm sorry. There's 5 guys in the quarterback room.
You got to think that obviously Emory and Drogosh are the staples. They're not going anywhere.
Emory Jones didn't play as much as he did at Florida and then be the starter all year at Arizona State to come here and play school.
Correct. But I will be curious to watch and see how it develops between Ben Bryant, Evan Prater, and Brady Lichtenberg. Who's staying? Because I can't imagine that you're going into next season when kickoff starts with all 5 in that room.
It would be shocking if that's the case. What's the pace? The Pace brothers. Ivan Pace has committed to play in a senior, like a draft type bowl game. But I would tell you this: the conversation we had with Jake Sopko tonight might have changed my direction on Ivan Pace. If he doesn't enter his name in for the draft and doesn't play in that bowl game, he has the ability to return to Cincinnati. And I think he has a chance to make a lot, to be the cornerstone of what can happen in Cincinnati with name, image, and likeness. because he is the first unanimous All-American in the history of this football program. He is a West Sider. He's from Coleraine. He's a family that has deep, deep roots in the Cincinnati football community.
Yeah.
Can they possibly get Ivan Pace to stay? Ask me 3 days ago. I thought no way in hell.
There's the potential, though, for Ivan Pace to make more money on an NIL deal here in the state of Cincinnati.
NIL deals.
In the
Everybody in the state of Cincinnati wants a piece of Ivan Pace.
Then he would make as a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round guy.
That's going to fight his ass off to make a team.
And I do not get you. There's no way in hell he would not fight his ass off. Like, let's be all the way.
That's never in question.
He's had to do that his entire career.
Okay. Maybe here's the thought process that we're not thinking of, Aaron. What's left for Ivan Pace to accomplish? A year ago, Ivan Pace was a third-team All-American at Miami. This year, he's a unanimous first-team All-American at Cincinnati, where he wanted to be all along, but the previous coaching staff didn't think he was good enough to play here. What if his goal is, hey, let's make $1 million and be the National Defensive Player of the Year?
I almost want to take it a step further, knowing how much Cincinnati means to him.
To be the greatest football player in UC football history?
Well, sure, maybe. Passing Sauce is going to be a tall order.
Almost impossible, just because of where Sauce is headed. Sure.
I'm wondering, though, how much he wants to be a crutch in bringing this program from a coaching change into the Big 12 and be the face of the first class going into the Big 12 and establishing this program as a place that you can go and ball out.
Yeah.
Make it a place, make it a destination program. Like, he has that. That is what could set him apart from Sauce Gardner. Right there.
I didn't, again, 3 to 5 days ago, if you'd have told me there's a 5% chance Ivan Pace comes back to Cincinnati, I just said, come on, man. Like,
that's the type of shit that legends are made of, though. If you're able to make this a destination program by being a dude in the Big 12 in the inaugural season as a Bearcat.
Right. And going out and being a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. And
how much better would he look if he's putting these same stats up against
in the Big 12,
the Baylors and the Oklahomas and the Texas?
And he will do it.
Right.
He will do it.
So maybe that's what raises your draft stock.
And you can make $1 million hanging out at home
with your brother
and become a legend in Cincinnati. A legend. I would declare for the draft. I would.
Sure.
But there's a lot of buzz. Things are getting interesting on the Pace brothers front. Build it up. And what I mean by that, there are a lot of things in this program that are not day one ready right now.
Yeah.
But we've heard about the addition potentially of a general manager, someone who was basically the personnel director of the year.
Which, by the way, didn't basketball start this trend at Cincinnati? Doesn't Wes Miller have a general manager essentially?
This is all coming. This is all.
I'm just saying, I don't see many schools doing what Wes Miller and company have already done. We talked about that when it happened.
I don't know if there's a specific general manager. There's a new associate athletic director in charge of basketball that I think if you would have labeled him general manager, like it would have been the same exact thing.
That's my point.
Be ahead of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be ahead of the game. You say you want to be day one ready. You say you want to go into the Big 12 and be ready for what everybody else in the Big 12 is doing. How about not matching what everybody else in the Big 12 is doing? How about being different? How about being progressive?
Trendsetter. Yeah.
Being a trendsetter. Being Brett Yormark. Right? That's what Yormark does. He creates. He does things that are off the radar. He does things that are new and fresh and innovative. Hire a general manager and say your general manager is in charge of the recruiting department. And here's his right-hand man that's in charge of high school recruiting. And here's his left-hand man that's in charge of the portal. And all of a sudden, you're changing how this is all done.
It's how you make sure that you don't run into a situation like this again.
Right. Day one ready, right? Day one ready is not, at least to me, and I want your opinion on this. Day one ready is not just doing what everybody else is doing, right? Day one ready is being ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing what everybody else is doing, then you're always playing catch up.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because even when everybody else is doing new things, you're still playing catch up on the old thing. Like you've got to start doing some other things, thinking outside the box to try and just close the gap that much faster. So yeah, I'm with you. What I'm uncertain of though is what these items are in the box. I was very clear about the items I wanted in the boxes underneath the tree, Chad. I don't know what any of your items are. They're all just they're not items.
I want the leading quarterback.
Okay.
I want a quarterback like the guy that runs the show in a box.
Okay.
I want Ivan Pace in a box.
Okay.
And I want the new general manager in a box.
Okay.
I mean, I respect, like, we took different approaches, and that's what I love about when we do Three Keys, except for when we did the Three Keys to the Fenway Bowl.
I was just really glad we didn't have any that overlapped.
No, your brain works entirely different than mine.
For sure. Everyone knows that. Right.
That's the reason I love doing these little segments, is because you're going to give something completely different than where my brain is at. And that makes it good. That means we get 6 different keys. If our brains work the same, then we just get the same 3 keys. There's no fucking point in doing the segment.
and then we're only at 8 minutes, and everybody's probably happier than they are at 18 minutes.
And now we're at 18 minutes, and I got a radio show apparently I got to plan. See everybody tomorrow night. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Be careful out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
See ya!